Hello and welcome to the second game. AMD Premier League quarterfinals, Rattlesnake versus Zenith. And Rattlesnake managing to beat Zenith in the first game. Let's see if Zenith can force out a game number 3 or if Rattlesnake will take it 2-0. We will see it all in this game as the winner of this best out of 3 will move on to the semi-finals played on Tuesday. Up against either MUFC or Mineski, which is a game that is still going to be happening later today. I will not be casting this match by myself. I will be joined once again by Basskip. Welcome back.
Hey Sheever, pleasure to be here. So, again, yeah, definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing a game 3, but Rattlesnake, I mean, I think holding a lot of cards at the moment. They've got tons of options. We just saw their Alchemist again, and it worked, and it bought a mech. And I think everybody, you know, this is more new meta than the Navi Orb of Venom on Ogre was, and people were on about that for ages. But anyway, let's get underway with this draft.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of bans, everything is the same as we are used to seeing it. Lifestealer, Bad Rider, Nyx Assassin, and Lone Druid getting banned out. Magnus actually a hero that has been completely ignored in the previous game. Now Zenith managing to get their hands on it, and I really like it. Because if Rattlesnake is going to be doing around the same idea as what they did last game, at least this time when you have a 5-man pushing, you can counter it with a reverse polarity properly placed.
Definitely the threat of the RP always being there. And Rattlesnake pick up SD is the question here about Alchemist. This is about Leshrac. I'm really interested. I don't like seeing SD and Rubik together because there's kind of a redundancy between them. They both fill the same role, and between the two of them you can't actually get that much ganking done. Like, they've got a ton of lockdown, but Rubik doesn't bring that much damage to amplify with Catcher, and but Rubik always nice against Magnus, so we might see it. But again, Rattlesnake, I think they've got flexibility, and they've got hopefully mainstream Dota, and they've also got, you know, whatever that was we saw last game. So
yeah, it is going to be Leshrac, so you have got the follow-up from the disruption, and perhaps again Leshrac going to be on the on an aggressive trial lane. Shadow Demon definitely a hero that can fulfill that role. And last game, of course, they weren't able to get a Shadow Demon because that was one of the first pickup that Zenith did after Leshrac was the first pickup for Rattlesnake in that game. So maybe they still wanted to have that. Alchemist still in the pool. Who knows what might happen. Zenith, though, the ball's in their court. Do they want another Queen of Pain? Secure a carry hero. Like, what does Zenith do with their Magnus? Are they going to be playing it solo mid?
Reserve time.
I think whatever Zenith are going to be doing, they need a bunch of heroes that just do stuff in the game. And I mean, that's a big vaguity for me. But we've seen Rattlesnake. We know they like to go aggressive. We know they like to apply pressure. And if you've got 2 heroes off farming and doing their own thing, and you've only got 3 to defend against 5, then, you know, you're at a disadvantage right from the start. So I think Zenith, whatever they're doing, it needs to be ready to deal with the aggression. As far as the Magnus is concerned, wouldn't be too surprised to see him on mid. Picking him up this early, given that he's an okay solo, not necessarily amazing. I mean, compared to, you know, like the Lone Druid that we saw as first pick from Zenith last game. So yeah, Magnus nice and flexible, but Zenith.
Ooh.
Ooh,
I was
okay.
When the Keeper of Light was picked up, I was thinking, oh, there's gonna be a Keeper of Light Phantom Lancer combination in this game. But the Visage, actually, this time on the side of Zenith, Alchemist still picked up by Rattlesnake, but Visage, the one that Zenith is gonna be playing with. I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, Zenith are like one piece of lockdown short of having an amazing tri-lane. Yeah. I mean, they could take Sven. They could take, well, maybe someone with a slightly better escape, given that Rattlesnake have got their little... Oh, they've got Shadow Demon Leshrac, obviously, +1, which is probably going to be someone bringing a little bit more on top. So, but Zenith, I like the adjustment. They picked up the Undying last game as, you know, a hero that they wanted to get things done in the tri-lane and help to contest things. And Visage, I think, you know, going to be fulfilling a similar role here. So, Zenith, they take a leaf maybe out of Rattlesnake's book, and hopefully we'll see it used to as great effect.
Yeah, they're kind of giving away, though, what they want to be doing, of course. I mean, if you're going to be having and a Keeper of Light and a Visage, the amount of burst damage that you have early game is insane. So aggressive trial lane probably going to be the one Zenith is going to be doing, unless they're expecting also an aggressive trial lane from Rattlesnake and are just going to be trying to go for that trial lane versus their trial lane. And we'll see how the mind games then work out about who's going where, because of course that's going to be You know, if you're expecting that you're going to be up against an aggressive tri-lane on your own safe tri-lane and you want to be going for an aggressive tri-lane, you want to be going on your safe tri-lane, but if you want to be going for an aggressive tri-lane against a safe solo or safe tri-lane, anyways, you see the mind games problems right there.
Yeah, exactly. Often the resolution for that comes down to who has the better push. So if you end up in a weird situation where you're aggressively tri-laning, but the enemy team dodged your tri-lane, so you've got your tri-lane on their on their safe lane, and they've got their tri-lane on your safe lane. It often comes down to who can push faster, and that's a bit of a question mark, I think, now, because Zenith not too shabby with the Keeper of the Light, but Rattlesnake have the Leshrac going for them as well, and Darkseer makes it all the way through here, I think, actually notably. So we'll see. I think we might be seeing him.
Yeah, well, they the one that you mentioned is Sven, of course. A carry with a disable. Rattlesnake heard you. Ban out 3 carries with disables. All the knights, basically.
Oh, Zenith. Spectre.
Wow.
Okay.
I was not expecting that one.
Okay, a lot of people are gonna immediately say Spectre's a do-nothing hero, and it's in the distinction between do nothing and do something, it's about how early you do something. So Keeper of the Light can help stall for Spectre to get big and be a threat in the late game, but Spectre as well, you've got options. You can build a defusal, you can go for a Manta, you can pick up early game damage, and you can actually be very scary. And a lot of people have been, pioneering, well, not pioneering, but treads and drum builds, things like that. Stuff that we've been seeing on Weaver for a long time, but is now sort of moving over to the harder carries as well, just so they can have early game relevance. So Zenith, I'm really interested to see what they're going to be doing with this spec.
Yeah, what we have seen, I was gonna say lately, but what we have seen from, for example, Alliance, is they picked the Spectre, and he's in every single fight, just with the Haunt, gonna be there every single fight,
exactly,
no matter,
exactly.
You're the potential to be aggressive early on is definitely there. You don't have to sit on your lane and farm. And I'm kind of thinking that Zenith is gonna be going the same path with their Spectre. I kind of still dislike the lack of disable though. Like they have an RP, but just having disable every 2 minutes is not going to be cutting it. They need more disable to shut down the Alchemist, because if you're just going to let Alchemist hit you, you're going to go down no matter how much burst damage you have. And Clockwork is going to be there as well. You need to do something against Clockwork if he gets cogs off somewhere. I mean, you kind of need to be able to stun him inside his cogs, perhaps.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
And the problem for Zenith, without having any disable, they've got no way to stop Shadow Demon, Leshrac, Alchemist, or Shadow Demon, Leshrac, Clockwork. They've got no way to stun the Leshrac, say, okay, you're not going to land your Split Earth, and whoever you disrupted is going to walk away, and that could be tough. So 3 position coming up, or it could be the 5 as well. Visage could afford to get maybe a bit of farm. There's still a Darkseer.
10 seconds.
It has a nice impact, synergizes quite well with Mag, but
Disables,
Tidehunter.
But again, AoE disables, but Tidehunter, hero that I haven't seen in a very long time in competitive Dota. I like it. If Rattlesnake is gonna do the same thing as what they did earlier, now they have to be ready for, well, I was gonna say 2 big team fight ultis, but I guess we can count the Haunt in that as well. And if you're gonna have an Illuminate over the top, and everybody that is low is gonna get bursted down by the Soul Sumption from the Visage, I like it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot, because just having those big cooldowns is going to be a bit of a deterrent to Rattlesnake pushing in. I mean, they don't really have a split push lineup right now. The mass team fight is really going to help stopping the Clockwork a bit, because if Clock hooks in, then whichever initiator hasn't been jumped on, they can be the one to make space between Zenith's team and Rattlesnake, and that's going to be a really big deal, because Zenith should be able to get into the positions that they want for the fight. Coddle should be able to hang back, just because they've got 2 beefy heroes to start things out between Tide and Mag, and once Spectre starts getting that farm, she's going to be able to just charge in as well, keep the supports forced back, and I think Zenith, looking good for them, but Rattlesnake go mass damage one more time. Not a huge surprise.
Gyrocopter, once again, been seen in Asian Dota. Let's see how it's going to be doing today. We are going to be seeing Rattlesnake Latham, this time on the Clockwork. Interesting change actually from a Visage to a Clockwork, but or farming Visage actually. But it's gonna be probably going on the solo offlane. It's gonna be Luo on the Alchemist this game again, Kabu on the Leshrac again, Sag on the Shadow Demon, instead of the Earthshaker, and Icy gonna be playing the Gyrocopter. So I'm kind of expecting Alchemist again to go solo mid, aggressive tri lane or with Icy there, and then land him on the solo off lane.
Could be. Could also be the Clockwork in the tri lane, and then potentially Gyrocopter.
They're gonna meet each other. Let's see, Disruption is going to start things off. Finds himself a Magnet. Illuminate's going to burst through it. Split Earth is going to be there. Rocket Barrage. Ice. Trouble. But Lanham is going to be the first one to go down if he's not careful. He is going to be going down. Ice. He's going to be able to try and kill off Icy as well. But it's Ice that drops first. 2 for 1. Luo now in trouble. Going to get chased down. Anchor Smash is going to be the first spell that Yamate picks up. Gets a Split Earth in the face. Is there more damage is the question. Sag has got another Disruption in 2 seconds. They could try to go for it again. But where is the support going to come from? They can't have it. And now we see Sag in some trouble. X-Freedom. You're going to be trying to go for a bit of a burst damage. Has got his Soul Assumption, but won't be able to reach him anymore. And that is going to be the end of it. 2 for 1 in favor of Zenith. They got also the first blood, I believe. Indeed, with Lanham being the first one to go down. And that is a good start for them. Really good.
An incredibly clutch play from Ice. He was really low, but managed to skewer a Gyrocopter underneath the tower, pop a salve to survive long enough to keep him occupied there, and managed to pick up that second kill. So nicely done. And I guess quickly running over who's playing what on Zenith before too much more happens. But Ice is going to be top on the mag. On mid, we have Yamate playing the solo mid Tidehunter. So this is the response to the Alchemist. On bot, Freedom is going to be on Visage. Ice playing the Keeper of Light, and XY is going to be on Spectre.
Yeah, and the invisibility rune on Clockwork gave him a bit of an edge there up against Ice. But the thing about Magnus versus the Clockwork, I mean, you can just score out of the cock. So I'm not really expecting too much action on the top lane. So I think we're going to be spending most of our time in the bottom lane. Even though I'm kind of interested to see how this mid lane is going to be going on. I mean, a Tidehunter versus an Alchemist. I like it. Anchor Smash, a really annoying thing to just spam out and just make sure that Luo gets a lot less last hits than he otherwise would. So it's I kind of love it actually. Tidehunter solo mid, and hope it works out.
Yeah, I think it's a nice choice. Like you said, the Anchor Smash is going to make it a real pain for Alk just to be able to sit there and farm. The Acid Spray obviously going to be the counterpoint back. So yeah, I really like the response from Zenith. I guess they felt that they weren't getting that much mileage out of the Queen of Pain, and just getting some additional team fight out where they can is going to be great. And I mean, it's a completely different use of mid from what we're used to seeing. It's not a hero who is, you know, looking to get the early levels, looking come, you know, and have a maybe necessarily a huge ganking impact, but that team fight impact and deterring the pushes is going to be great.
The couriers seem to be in a bit of trouble mid. We actually had Yamate getting an extra salve brought towards him. But one of the bigger differences that you see now with the early game aggression that we had is that the first blood went to Ice on his Keeper of the Light as a support. You see his inventory is like, okay, you know what, he doesn't have any items, and that's purely because the gold that he got, he spent on useful items, wards, upgraded courier, which makes a big difference for the mid lane to get his salve there fast.
I got initiation up
bottom. Rocket Barrage gonna help out. Freedom is gonna be the first one to die. Shadow Demon actually, never mind, he died first. A 1-for-1 trade. XY gonna be able to get away. And it was the Spectre that got that kill. So important kill for that. Of course, Icy getting a kill there as well on the Visage. So both carries getting a kill. Exchanging off supports. Who initiated that?
So Shadow Demon walked in, managed to get the disruption down on X-Freedom, but Freedom, you know, ton of damage went out. What's happening? Top, Lenham. Behind the tower.
Oh, we make sure that Ice is gonna be having no more mana.
Yeah. So, yeah, the nice thing about the Visage is that the counter burst is just, immense.
Yeah. And they, well, I don't think they really wanted to go for a trade, so it looks like they're gonna be searching for someone else to get a disruption off again. I mean, they have to continue keeping this going because otherwise XY is just going to be continuing to farm, and you know the reason that you're here on an aggressive trial is to try and shut them down, and so far not really successful. Last hit wise XY is fairly even with the Gyrocopter, so not really having a successful aggressive trial lane so far, I'd say.
The nice thing for Zenith this time around is they are on the Radiant side, so running a defensive tri lane a little bit easier down here. I mean, the trees have kind of been cut down, so that relative safety isn't really there, but it's definitely the safer of the two safe lanes, and I guess definitely helps out with taking the Spectre pick.
XY lands a dagger up on the Gyro. Can't go in though. Like, they don't have any disable. That's the downside. Like, they have got a bit of slow with that Grave Chill, but that's about it.
I mean, they're strictly counter initiation and just zoning right now. It's not a question of whether or not they're ever going to go, but like we saw, they can get kills, turn back around. As soon as they see the aggression, Ice can start channeling Illuminate. Freedom's going to pop straight out, you know, throw down the nuke, and that should be enough to burst down the Shadow Demon or the Leshrac really reliably.
Yeah, Luo actually rotating. Yep. Has got the Unstable Concoction at level 2. Gonna be charging it up. Gonna be finding Freedom soon. Disruption. Soulcatcher's there first, and that is gonna be a stun. Freedom gonna get bursted down so fast. Kinda surprising because I thought that he saw that. There was pings going off. There is a ward up on the high ground. They saw Alchemist walking that way. I felt like he was walking into his doom. Kinda surprising that he actually went out.
Yeah, it was just, I mean, it was just early enough that we're not at the point where both Tidehunter and Magnus are going to be carrying TPs. Ice doesn't yet have reverse, and Yamate only got level 6 in the middle of that gank, so not a whole lot that he could have done even with a TP down. So hopefully we'll see him carrying one from this point forward, because the Ravage is obviously going to be great.
Yeah, I think
wow,
Ice might be able to get a kill here, yeah. Chasing him down, one Skewer, one Shockwave might be able to do the job, but he's actually giving it up. Because
Bottle gets dropped off one more time, and this could be dangerous for him. There's a hook shot ready to go.
Looking for it. Lanham could be trying this. There's of course a Skewer to get out again, so he should be able to run, but he will at least be forced back to base. Actually, Skewer's Lanham with him. Rocker Battery is still helping out. Lanham now in trouble. Ice could be getting a kill. This has another Shockwave, gets it off, and gets another right click in for the kill. Yes, he does. Ice solo killing the Clockwork, and that's a kill that is very, very welcome for Zenith, as Zenith's bottom lane is kind of in a tough position right now.
Yeah, for sure. So Ice has a good time, and now he can, you know, start to repay that down towards the bottom lane. And these big teamfight heroes are definitely people that can come down and disrupt the tri lane. And as soon as if you're on an aggressive tri lane, you get wiped out once, your tri-lane is kind of over. I mean, Rattlesnake can make moves and move the tri-lane back up towards top because Clockwork can kind of deal with it, but not a situation that they want to deal with. And Rattlesnake, again, just look at this warding. I'm very impressed. They've got coverage at all angles. They're making sure that this bottom lane is, you know, they've got full information about what's going on. And Luana making his way bot one more time. Are these TPs up? There is one up on Yamate.
The Ravage is on cooldown because he used it in mid earlier, so they know they don't have to worry about that. RP is there though, if Magnus has actually mana, which he does not. So if they go in here, there's really no team fight that can save them right now.
He can TP bot and Ice can give him mana, but...
True. But he needs to do it very fast if he wants to go in. Luo gonna be trying to force them out, smoke them out with the acid spray, but actually smokes them more in, I guess. Keeping them very safe. Illuminate will fly out. Daggers as well, actually hitting up on Icy. Luo. Chemical Rage going in. Gonna be trying to find the supports. Gonna be stunning up Ice. And here also comes, actually no, Ice comes in. Disruption is still there, but Sag will be going down. Probably one more hit to go. Ice, there we go. Shockwave will do the job. Ice gonna be running away from this, and it's Luo that is very low, tanked up a lot of the towers. Chemical Rage is about to disappear, gonna be trying to suicide, or never mind, he can actually not suicide anymore. He's gonna be just trying to deny experience, is not able to do that. XY actually got the experience from that, even though he didn't get the last hit, at least getting something from that, and no RP being used for that, and still they got this combat kind of thing.
Yeah, so that time around, Zenith ready to go with TPs, and Ice, he's still going.
He wants to go for the using the RP finally. There he goes. Gets a kill, gets a split earth though, and a lightning in the face. Soulcatcher there as well, and this might be his undoing. Here comes Lanham on his Clockwork. Ice has a Soulcatcher up on him, tower hitting him as well, and actually the tower getting the last hit. Might not be entirely worth it.
I don't know, he got 2, he clipped, he sniped the Leshrac with that very last shockwave. Yeah, so he got 2.
Shot.
Nice play.
Tidehunter has got 6 or 8 stick charges. We'll be getting more mana there as well. Glance at Gosh, Anchor Smash, Stun comes in though from Luo. It's Tidehunter that goes down, Illuminate 2 hits up on Lanham. And here comes the Soul Assumption. One more hit will do the job, and it is indeed Freedom that gets the kill. Ice in some trouble. Luo getting a mana burn, but he will be able to kill off Ice. That stun will do the job, but he stuns up Freedom instead. And we'll settle for him and gets him as well. Actually, Sag gets the last hit there.
So at the end of the day, Zenith still lead by 2 kills. So.
Ice is not done. They just continue going here. Now he backs up, realizing that there would have been too much support for him to deal with no RP on the board anymore. But yeah, this is just all mid, everybody fight. Apart from Spectre, who actually decided, you know what, this is too much action for my taste, I'll go farm top.
Yeah, but I mean, you can really feel the difference in this game with Zenith having those 2 solos as opposed to just one, who are able to come and, you know, help out the tri lane, and the impact of the Magnus and the Tidehunter being felt is keeping it a lot closer than it was in the last game. So I think Zenith a commendable adjustment as far as the setup was concerned.
Yeah, they are fighting fire with fire, and it's showing a lot of aggression from both sides. They don't want to be letting the other team have the upper hand, and just want to be getting the last word out, as in the last kill, so that they actually win that fight. Maybe trying to make the other team a bit more prudent about going in, but so far I don't think either team has had any luck, and both teams will continue with their aggression if they have those ultis up, which right now for Zenith they have and an RP and a Ravage and a Haunt, so we might see them going for a bit more action fairly soon.
The only question that sort of sticks in my mind at the moment is the Spectre trying to out carry the Alchemist and the Gyrocopter, because they're both, you know, fantastic carries in their own right. And the bigger deal as well is that Spectre's, I mean, one of the reasons that we don't see a lot of Spectre is that her flash farming is just not very good. I mean, XY can't do a lot to push more farm out of the map unless he's participating in kills, you know, using the Haunt. Meanwhile, Alchemist and Gyrocopter, they can go for stacks. They're both fairly quick in the jungle. And I think, you know, we're going to start seeing, you know, XY's doing a good job so far, but if this heads to the late game, that's careful. I'll land him on bot.
Yeah, I'm going to be putting down the cogs, trying to TP out. Let's see if there's enough burst. Nope. That's the downside of not having disables.
Exactly, well. Lack of stuns. Well, they've got the familiars now, but it's a little bit unreliable.
Yeah, and a bit slow to get in time to get there in time for the TP cancel. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I think Zenith would be looking to go for 5-man push fairly soon. When they have got some core items up on that Spectre, they need to. And I say 5-man push, but I actually mean 4-man, because if it's gonna turn into a fight, XY can just hunt himself in, so he'll be continuing to farm. I mean, you said he can't flash farm. That's his big downside. At least the only thing he has going for him is that he can continue to farm while his team is actually forcing out fights. So he has to make good use of that, and his team has to try and force out fights, because that is what they excel in. They have the Ravage, they have the RP, they can go for team fights.
Yeah, and on that note of split push, I mean, not only do they have the Spectre's sort of innate split pushing power, we may need to hold this thought.
Yeah, they're gonna be going bottom. Kabu gonna be the first target to be scouted out. Gonna be getting a mana leak, gonna be getting a gush soon as well, I think. Yeah, there we go, and he is gonna be going down. Ice getting the kill. Hook shot in, actually. I didn't see that one. Ice is gonna be getting bursted down. Oh my god, that was a big ass stun. RP, no, getting cancelled off. Can't get the fight in. 2 for 1 right now, as we do have 2 supports on the sideline on Rattlesnake and only 1 support on the sideline for Zenith, even though the second support, very low Freedom, was able to TP himself out. Where did the hook shot go?
I wasn't actually watching. I was trying to keep an eye on both the Ravage and the Reverse Polarity being up. I was like, okay, this is a full 5-on-5 fight, and Zenith are ready to kind of take it. So. Yeah. In the end, a bit anticlimactic, I guess. Well,
that's of course something that Rattlesnake is gonna try to avoid that kind of fight, because Zenith will win that fight if that fight happens. And Rattlesnake being very prudent, trying to pick up some kills, got Keeper of the Light, which was very nice, of course. But other than that, they don't want to group up. I don't blame them for it.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, unless they get the pick off, or they can, you know, maybe force out a defensive Ravage from Tidehunter just by jumping on top of him, then it is definitely more prudent just to be going for these slower rolling pushes. But now Ice top does have a TP ready to go. XY making his way up as well, but pressure already on bot.
Yeah, and Ice is actually scouted out by one of the melee creeps. He is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Can't get out anymore. Has to kill off that creep. Gonna be blasting away. Ice actually coming in, looking for an RP. Gets it on 2. Shockwave going through. 1 down. Hookshot in though. Ice now in a lot of trouble. The Visage stuns, helping out, delaying Icy's attack, but he attacks anyway. Gets a cooldown, gets a kill. And the RP only getting the support. Probably not what they were aiming for. Let's see if Zenith is gonna try to chase this down. They still have that Ravage.
And the kind of unfortunate thing was that Yamate was pushing, he was ready to kind of go, but he needed to get away from Alp. And really didn't want to have his TP cancelled, so got to the fight a little bit late, but they hold on to their tier 1. one kill, but not really on anyone enormously significant. Really nice play from Lanham. Doesn't get caught in the RP, manages to counter initiate, and you know the cogs plus call down was just absolutely brutal. So nicely played by Rattlesnake. They are still trailing by 3 kills, however. And XP and gold, about 1k in favor of Zenith.
Yeah, it's really minimum. 14 minutes into the game, everything can still happen. Kinda. We do see both teams going for mechanisms. So when those are up, we might see, well, actually, it's gonna be more important for Rattlesnake to have it up. Oh, wait a second. Yamate gonna get split earth in the face. Lightning going through. He wants to go for a Ravage, but he can't get closer anymore, and he has to actually back off, using his bottle to try and stay alive. But he is the one with the team fight right now, so they have to be careful. Maybe he can try to get in from the side. He is indeed walking around, but he's going to be finding Icy there. And Icy will have a rocket barrage ready for him if he decides to pop it, and he does. Yamate forced back away. Hook shot in from Lanham though, and they will find themselves a Ravage. 1 kill on the board. Now Yamate can back off. It is going to be Sack that will be going down by the Visage Disruption, only delaying Yamate or Icy's chase up on Luo. Luo who's charging up a stun just in case someone comes, and someone does come, and he lands that stun just to make sure that he is going to be okay. 3-4-1 in favor of Zenith in the end.
Yeah, Zenith, I mean, Rattlesnake, they saw an opportunity, they saw the low health Tidehunter, they're like, okay, we can kill him, or we can make him use a really bad Ravage, but nicely done by Yamate. I guess baited them in a little bit, and then managed to pop a Ravage that really picked up a bunch of kills, and Sag coming in unfortunately just got cleaned up by, well, just got cleaned up by an Illuminate, and then the Familiar sitting on top of it. So a good team fight for Zenith, and gonna continue to push that lead out.
Yeah, I have to say that like both teams are taking fights off each other, taking kills off each other. Of course, Zenith leading the way, but they're not really getting anything in return. We don't have any towers down yet on either team. Now, of course, the tier 1 bot on the Zenith side is quite low, but there's just no pressure on any of the other towers. Tier 1 top actually also quite low, but you know, you don't see anybody really going for towers, even though the Leshrac might be able to change that around. Meantime, bottom lane, Ice. You're gonna be looking for that RP. You're gonna be finding it up on 2. No, he's gonna get cancelled. The power, or the cogs in the battery assault, gonna be stopping that one as the hookshot does not hit Ice. Luo looking for someone, gonna get a gush. Will be able to charge up his stun again soon. Gonna be doing that. They're gonna be trying to hit it up on Ice, and we'll be able to get the kill with that as well. 2 kills going away of Rattlesnake, and they take it back. And this time, they will get something in return, because this tower is not going to be held much longer.
Kablu has just been so impressive with the stuns this game. I mean, he's had a bunch of setup stuns by the disruption, but also just in the middle of team fights, he's been connecting them consistently without too much else to help him out. So I think Kablu's really getting a lot done in this game. Yeah,
he actually went for a different build on skill build. He totally skipped the edict, went for Max Lightning instead.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to walk into the Ravage, and you don't want to walk into the reverse polarity. So I think that being able to stay on the fringes of the team fight is a nice option for him here.
Well,
and I mean, you get in too close, you're probably going to be in range of maybe getting stunned by the Familiars. There's an Illuminate as well. There's a ton of zoning from Zenith. So yeah, I like the build.
Yeah, everything is back up again, by the way, for Zenith. But I think after last fight, are they really gonna look for fights again?
I think what they're really just waiting around is for XY to. And we touched on this push a little bit earlier, and I guess oh, XY, are you okay? Yeah, I'm just gonna be able to just stagger. But Zenith, they're gonna be able to kind of break this stalemate a little bit once Spectre is bigger, once she has some split push items. Because again, not only do they have the Spectre's split push, they've also got the Keeper of the Light to back it up. So XY can be pushing out lanes, constantly, and not have to worry about how he's getting to the fight. And as soon as there are items for for Spectre to threaten towers, it's going to be a big deal. And the Empower's helping out as well, quite a bit in just terms of getting the Spectre up and fighting and relevant faster. And XY actually going for a pretty early game build as well. Picks up some phase boots, picks up a drum. And it's all efficiency all the time. Oh, Lanham
bottom lane, yes.
And
he is down. Oh, disruption, saving his life. Ravage actually doesn't hit on Lanham, and Lanham, is he going to be able to get away from this? It looks like he might be. It's going to be Yamate that will be going down. It is going to be the stun that kills him off. Luo is dominating right now. I see, gonna be bursted down by the Visage. Chase is there. There's the RP killing off the Alchemist and basically killing everybody apart from the one guy that it all started with. The one guy that got saved by the disruption, leaving on 70 HP from the battlefield. It was a 4-for-1 trade. Brilliant fight for Zenith, and kinda desperate save save for Rattlesnake, and I don't know, I think they thought that they were going to get a lot more out of that, but at least they saved the clockwork.
I mean, it was a really cute save. I thought Lanham was a goner, but the hook shot into disruption was, I thought that was really good awareness. But at the same time, you've used two very good, two abilities that really help you break up the team fight, the disruption and the hook shot, and you've used them in a very defensive way, right? So already right from the word go, that team fight was sort of a ready 4v5 or 3.5 versus 5 for Rattlesnake. So I think Zenith, really good choice by them to capitalize as much as they possibly could.
Yeah, and that was of course also the first showing that Ice really uses Blink Dagger to help him in that fight, so I guess Rattlesnake weren't really prepared for that. Maybe that helps. Oh, finds himself to the lower ground, Lanham. I don't know if that was really the plan of Ice. Gonna just be having to run away.
Yeah, so that was a bit awkward, but the Blink Dagger, yeah, on Ice is... Now they know about it. It shouldn't be, as big a surprise the next time around. But it's, people always say, you got to make sure that you get a big impact out of that. The first time you pick up an item and the other team doesn't have any full information. And I mean, information is so valuable in Dota. I mean, that's the idea behind wards. You're paying for information about what the other team are doing, what they have, what their plan is, and just by not having full information, you make a decision that, in your frame of mind, might be the right one, but on hindsight, or as the casters having full information, you can say, well, it turns out not to be the right one. So Captain Hindsight.
Yeah. That's always the best captain, right? The ones that know it all. But talking about wards, I mean, at the start of the game, we saw Rattlesnake having totally domination about the map control, and right now they only have some vision on the top river, and that's about it. We have most wards now up for Zenith, who actually have got coverage in one line over the entire map, in the diagonal line on the map, knowing what's coming, and therefore also knowing... Actually, no, they don't know this. Smoke up. Rattlesnake, they want to go for this. Charge up for the stun. Luo looking for it. Gonna be going for Yamate, who cannot pop his Ravage this game. If he dies, will he die? It looks like he might be Mechanism up. Runs back in, gets a Ravage, but the BKB up on Icy. Cooldown coming down as well. Rocket Barrage, but the RP, there he goes. Hits up on 2, but where's the follow-up damage? It is not there. Nobody dying just yet in this fight. Ice can still be trying to run away. Gets another stun though, and will be going down, but he is the only victim so far of this battle, or is he? Looks like he is. The rest backs out. Ice, not sure if his TP's out. I am quite surprised that they only got 1 kill out of that, but I'm also quite surprised that Zenith managed to not get any kill out of that, because they used everything.
And part of that was actually, so Lanham sort of came into the back of the fight. He was near this dire ward that's right near the river. Yep. So he came in. He kept the Keeper of the Light and the Visage distracted for pretty much the entire fight, and then managed to walk his way into the trees. I guess, can you see where I draw or not?
If you draw on the map, I can see on the map, but I can't see the mini map.
Ah, okay, yeah. So so he was over by the ward, and if we follow that up and around, and he ended up all the way down here, and managed to TP out in those trees. So very cute play by him, and I think made a lot of space in the fight. Otherwise, Illuminate's the follow-up damage would have been pretty big. But Rattlesnake, they're gonna head straight into the Roshan pit. So.
Yeah, I don't think Zenith has any idea that this is going on, and they just used all their ultis, so they don't have any way of fighting Rattlesnake right now either.
Exactly. Even if they know, they can't really do too much about it. So.
Their wards on the bottom lane actually vanished. We do have more ward coverage up after what I last said, so no judgments based on that. But yeah, Roshan drops, Aegis goes the way of the gyro. Sheever, who's actually, we haven't really talked about items that much, because basically there's been fights the whole time or someone getting picked up. But we do have a BKB up on him, which we of course saw being used to good avail in the previous fight, dodging the Ravage because of that, dodging a lot of the damage that went combined with the RP because of that as well. Has got Phase Boots, has got 1400 gold, doesn't have his drums yet, but I think he'll be completing those shortly as the smoke goes up on the Zenith. See, I only talk about one item and boom, smoke. But actually we see the minimap and they're not going to be finding anybody. Or are they?
And XY is still really working on this fight build. He's got a Vanguard picked up and now working his way towards what appears to be a Diffusal as well. So really nice. It's not really a late game Spectre. It's okay, I'm split pushing and then using that potency to be in every single fight. So I think really making good use of the haunt. And I mean, once that defusal is up, it's going to be a real pain for both the Shadow Demon and the Leshrac in these fights. Especially since we see them just sort of tanking up a bit. We don't have a single pair of arcanes anywhere on Rattlesnake. It's not about the sustain in terms of mana. It's all about surviving on that 100 health at the end of the fight and just doing as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, we see everybody of Zenith backing off again after not finding anybody with their smoke, and they're just gonna be continuing to farm. I guess waiting until they find the right opportunity, waiting until maybe Rattlesnake makes a move that they can profit from, that they can take a team fight from, because I mean they just tried to smoke, didn't work unfortunately, and gonna be having to recuperate and maybe smoke again in a moment if they can see where an opening is or where someone is, because they don't have any clue right now about where anybody is. They just saw the Gyro, but that's the only one, and they will see Luo soon as well, but that's it. And actually with seeing Luo, XY, he runs. He flees.
Catches a glimpse of the Alchemist, and that's enough for him to go and reconsider what he's farming. So, on the point about taking team fights, I think the thing for Zenith is that they're anyone's going to take a freebie. Either team will get a pick off and take a freebie. That's no question. But Zenith are really looking for the organized team fights. They want to have the Keeper of the Light at the back. They want to have the Visage a little bit closer up, and then they want the front line to be hold this done.
Yeah. It is going to be the Demonic Purge Road of Freedom, but he doesn't seem to care that much. Disruption up on stage, he will be going down, but they won't be able to get the Alchemist, who was the one that started it all off. But I guess Zag just gave his life for the Alchemist because he was just there to make sure they couldn't chase up on Luo. I guess success.
Yeah, noble sacrifice.
Yeah. And that is, by the way, the Diffuser Blade ready, I think. Yep. That is a Diffuser Blade ready, and actually a BKB ready for Ice Ice Ice.
Yeah, so more and more items online.
It will definitely help out to be able to get in there, get in that fight without having to fear everything that gets thrown out by Rattlesnake. And most importantly, the battery assault from that Clockwork. Oh, it is gonna XY hook shot in. Gets inside the cogs, but can still get himself out. There is an RP on the board. If Ice Ice finds a good opportunity to use it, but there wouldn't be that much follow-up, and everybody of Zenith backs off. This is not the orchestrated fight that they want to have, I should point it out. They want to be the ones to determine when, where, how, and what, and who. Not this way.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the organization. It's all about finding getting the Ravage down, and then, well, maybe getting the Reverse Glider down, and then following it up with the Ravage. I guess Ice Ice has the initiating items at the moment, but yeah, being able to get multiple stuns with those ultimates is really it as far as team fights are concerned. Meanwhile, Rattlesnake, they want to go in at weird angles. They want to get pick offs. They want to keep the fight chaotic. They want to have cogs breaking everything up. So a lot of these fights are going to come down to who gets the jump on who's being picked off, who's forced to be disrupted, right? If Rattlesnake are having to disrupt someone defensively, that's not really the fight that they want. They would really love to have the aggressive initiation and being able to use their abilities later on in the fights.
Yeah, so we're kind of like seeing both teams sitting at the same kind of thought process. They want to initiate, but their opponent team doesn't want to go in when the opponent initiates. They want to go in when they initiate, and vice versa. Exactly. So both teams avoiding one another. Well, it's like cat and mouse, and the cat and mouse rule gets changed. Whoa, okay, Tidehunter, Invisibility Rune, Yamate. You're gonna be trying to go up on Luo. They will be ready to use a Ravage for it if needed. I don't even think it's gonna be needed. Dagger comes in as well. He's charging up his stun, but there's just too much burst damage, and he goes down. Stun is still there upon Yamate, but just there. That's it. Nice pick off.
It's really worth noting that Rattlesnake have been sitting on an Aegis now for 5.5 minutes, and normally when you've got that Aegis up, you're thinking, okay, we've got 6 heroes, they've got 5. What can they do? We can take a team fight. We can force down some towers. But Rattlesnake, it's been a little bit more timid. So I mean, they do have great carry heading into the late game. Obviously, Alchemist had kind of a slow start building a mech, so he's not really a huge damage machine, but. Rattlesnake, yeah, definitely feels like they're stalled. Zenith have managed to stabilize the map, and Spectre just continues to farm, continues to split push, and now with just a couple of items up, is a relevant threat. It's really going to stop, you know, Rattlesnake trying to force down these tier 2s. So Zenith, I think, you know, they've got a game plan, they stuck to their guns, and everything is just working out for them right now. Though Rattlesnake, I don't know if they're in too much of a rush. They've still got the farming avenue of, you know, getting the late game sorted.
Yeah, and the Aegis just disappeared. We do have Icy picking himself up a Eagle song, so we'll be going for a battle, or a butterfly rather. But yeah, Zenith, like you said, they are okay with the way things are going. But Rattlesnake, same story. It's just a question of who's gonna be making the next move, and I think we might actually have to wait until the next Roshan is up, because that will make a big difference, especially for Zenith, because they at some point need to take the moment and not allow Rattlesnake to have and the Gyro and the Alchemist to be too big to deal with. Even then, I guess. Oh, well. Oh, what? Oh, there. Yeah.
Well, there's a sentry up on the high ground, so Lanham is going to be spotted at the very least.
Well, they do have a Gem of True side though, so I guess they saw it. Maybe they pinked there, and actually the smoke is going to be broken up on the Spectre. Drawing on a minimap from Lanham, realizing where everybody is, but once again, Zenith, are they going to be able to initiate? I don't think so, not this time. Maybe they're going to be able to take a tower. As we said, I mean, right now Zenith wants to initiate, that's fine, but if Zenith wants to initiate, Rattlesnake probably doesn't. So maybe with that knowledge they might be able to take a tower. They do have a pipe up, by the way, on the Tidehunter now as well. They're sticking around. Maybe doing a fake back and then going for the first poor schmuck that comes into the mid lane.
I think the game plan there is that they spotted Alchemist going to pick up an Invis rune at bot, and maybe suspecting that they hadn't seen the gem just yet, so maybe thinking that, okay, Alchemist is going to walk up the hill, he thinks he's got an Invis, we can jump him when he comes up, but I think, yeah, teammates had managed to spot the gem beforehand, so the call comes out for Lua just to back off.
Middle lane still going to be the target though. And actually Isosai is walking behind everybody, gonna see if they can find a pick-off here. Lanham and Kabu are gonna be the targets. No, doesn't find anybody. Tried, gets disrupted, and this might be a counter-initiation. Flitter is gonna hit. Yamate sitting around there, pipe goes up, and that is gonna be Isosai being just fine. Spectre takes the tower money, and it is Zenith that takes their leave.
So Zenith, the calculated aggressors now.
Yeah.
I mean, feeling that they are in the driving seat in this game. And in that position, they're just taking their, two ultimates from lane to lane and daring Rattlesnake to take a fight. And Rattlesnake, I think the response from them, it's good, but it's not what it's not what they want to be doing. They're gonna split push just to try and delay. But yeah, it's gonna come down to a question of can they fight the Spectre, and Spectre now going all the way back for a Sacred Relic, but. If it's gonna be a Radiance, which it more than likely is going to be, that's not too far away. So XY looking great in terms of farm right now. Yeah,
and he can just indeed be just farming by himself, waiting for a team fight to happen. As the team fight still, they want it to happen. That, by the way, was the first tier 2 tower that went down at 32 minutes in. I think that last game, the push was way faster, so quite surprising to see that, as normally lately the pushes of all teams have been fairly fast, but tier 2 towers only now going to be bursted down. Rattlesnake, they can initiate if they want to, but do they want to? They don't have the Alchemist here, he's farming bottom, so I guess that is just a statement that they don't want to. And actually they don't have Icy either, he is just continuing to farm, this time in the Radiant jungle, because that's right now the safest place for him.
This is really dangerous though. Icy doesn't have a TP scroll on him, so yeah, I mean he's gonna have to take the time to walk all the way across to the shop, and I think this shows, yeah, the Rattlesnake, no intention whatsoever of defending that tower. And I mean they're giving away 1k gold for a few, for a little bit of farm up on both of their carries, but we'll see if it's gonna be paying dividends. I mean Gyrocopter does almost have his butterfly finished up, but Alchemist having finished up that AC still. A reasonable way away from a next item. So Rattlesnake stalling for time, but we'll see if the stall is going to be, is going to pay off when it really comes down to do or die for them.
Actually, we have a Rod of Aethos ready up on Freedom. I love seeing that item. Normally you don't see it that much, but I kind of like it. Going to be helping a lot versus a Alchemist that is trying to get towards his target. Because the Alchemist doesn't have a BKB or anything like that. And if you can stop him from getting to his target, that is huge.
Yeah, I mean between the Grave Chill and the Aethos, he can keep somebody at pretty much minimum move speed forever, 100 MS. So It's a
Roshan is
big
back
deal.
up, by the way.
And Zenith, yes, I mean, staking their claim. They've got the gem as well, so it's really difficult for Rattlesnake to get in here. I mean, Familiars making it impossible even to have any high ground wards. You know, sometimes you can have a sneaky ward sitting somewhere up around here, which is just, you know, near the fog blocker on the dire hill. But yeah, I think you can see it now. But not going to be the case for Rattlesnake right now, and they don't want to walk in blind, that's for sure.
And that's the Radiance completed also, by the way. Tier 2 tower, last one standing on the side of Rattlesnake is the target. We already see Ice hanging around, seeing if he can get someone and skewer him back into enemy or into Zenith's lineups as XY. He actually is just able to just take the tower by himself. He didn't even have anybody really helping him. As we have got another invisibility rune. Last time they had this, they were able to kill off Luo. This time though, are they gonna be just getting a free RP? They need to be going into the tier 3. Zenith, they're just pushing up the high ground. If they win a fight here, they'll get Roshan and maybe Rex. If they lose a fight here, they'll lose the Roshan. Nice 4 staff out for Lanham. Nice cooler from Ice, but no can do.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Oh, split push also. Gyro. This time with the TP scroll, push down the tier 2 a bit. XY coming in. Burns away everybody.
Tower is under attack.
This is going to be, these team fights are going to be a nightmare, I think, for Rattlesnake, because between the Diffusal and the Radiance, I'm not actually sure the supports can survive the full duration of that haunt. It's going to be absolutely brutal. Smoke towards top, though, so they've got their eye on Spectre.
He can just haunt himself out towards Luo on the bottom lane, though.
Yeah.
Really the smartest thing. The Monocurse is there. There's the haunt as well. Can be going to bottom lane. Is he going to be in time though? There's one stun. Is it going to be in time? Yes, it is. Hello, bottom lane. Hello, XY. And it's Shadow Demon that actually... Shadow Demon goes down purely from the burn damage. And look at Leshrac, already very low as well. They just lost a hero while trying to kill one off. And he wasn't even around when it happened. Oh, hello, Magnus. Killing off the clockwork.
Yeah, Ice comes in and there's the cleanup crew. So... I think Spectre's just reached critical mass. I'm not sure what Rattlesnake can do.
If Luo was on the top lane also, they would have been able to kill him off.
Yeah. And there might have been an opportunity as well for Luo to be ready and just sitting there bot channeling a stun. So, you know, where is Spectre going to haunt? Only going to haunt to the Alchemist, so maybe it could have been a little bit more pressure. But, anyway. SSI is trying to go for a skewer again. Trying to bring someone out, but Rattlesnake being careful about it. They know that the fight is coming, they just want to make it on their terms, and it's gonna be tough. They're gonna just trying to force them out for now, and probably try to fight them on their own terms, but I don't think that Zenith will take no for an answer right now. They pop the pipe, they run up the high ground, and continue to bash on the tier 3 tower, and especially also with now also Spectre in this fight, kinda means that they mean business. And I mean, Zenith, if they get rebuked in a push, they're still Roshan up, and I mean, they've still got both of their ultimates as well, so... I think in any 5-on-5 situation right now, they're feeling pretty confident. Though Haunt is on cooldown for a little bit, so the supports can maybe breathe a very brief sigh of relief there, but I don't think it's going to be for too long.
Oh, they're going to be pushing out the bottom lane first, and Roshan, of course, yeah, still standing.
I mean, there's not a whole lot that... Rattlesnake do have some pretty good teamfight as far as close quarters are concerned. What have we got going on? So Lanham, line is drawn on top, so pushing that lane out. XY hasn't left his team, so there's no chance of catching him out while he's still pushing. And 4k gold as well, so Manta Styler Heart probably coming along shortly.
Roshan is going to be uncontested, and Alchemist actually finally picks up a BKB, so that will be very helpful. And that was nice for him to just be continuing to bash things and to be able to survive the RP from the Magnus, of course, as well.
And just, you know, again, deal with the Grave Chill and deal with the Rod of Atos.
Yeah.
Rattlesnake, they want to fight this.
Gonna be finding Yamate first. Jump in there, Ravage hits on one. Kabu is gonna be the first one to get dropped there. BKB already popped by Icy. Where is he gonna go though? It is gonna be Spectre that actually gets cleaned up by Luo. A very split up fight, a very good fight for Rattlesnake. They're gonna be going for Yamate. Yamate already uses Ravage. Nice RP though, it's up on 2. Where's the damage? Can they get it out? The Haunt is on cooldown. Though the buyback was there from XY, Yamate gonna get killed off. And that is a 3-4-2 3-4-4 fight, as I say 4, because of course Spectre actually died there, and that is exactly what you've also been saying the entire time. Rattlesnake wants to have the fight on their terms, and they got it. Zenith did not get the orchestrated team fight that they were aiming for.
Yeah, I mean, they got the chaotic fight. The Ravage looked good, but I mean, nice BKB pop from Gyrocopter keeps him safe. It clips Kabu, he does go down. But meanwhile, Lanham and Luo come in from the rear, get the damage out, and yeah, Spectre buyback, but to no avail really. It does have some really good farm now with the Radiance, so that point about doesn't really flash farm too quickly is kind of negated for Rattlesnake, showing that they are not out of this game just yet, and they've got an Aegis to sit on for a little bit. Also knowing that the Spectre buyback is on cooldown is going to be a pretty big deal for them. Are
you expecting them to this time actually try to fight with the Aegis?
Again, I think it comes down to a question of pickoff. Ravage is still going to be on cooldown for a while. Reverse polarity, obviously not quite the same luxury, and wow, Ice actually has a refresher orb up as well. So organized team fights are still very, very tough for Rattlesnake, I think. I mean, even if Gyrocopter comes out on the other end alive because of the Aegis, 2 reverse polarities and a Ravage is just... I don't know if it's insurmountable, but it's a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. We do have Ice picking up as another Gem of Truth set, and of course it was taken by Rattlesnake after he died. So the map control war will continue, but this time Rattlesnake will be a bit on even ground with also a gem of their own. But yeah, like you said, I mean, it's a lot to willingly take in. If you know that you're gonna fight and you know that everything is up on Zenith, do you really want to try and fight them? It's a tough decision, and I would say no.
You gotta have so much faith in Lanham and Luo. They are the frontliners for Rattlesnake. They are the ones who can probably, eat a stun here, eat a stun there, and keep on ticking. And getting cogs down in the middle of the fight is going to be a really big deal for Rattlesnake as well. I mean, there's the primary sources of damage on Zenith and all the lockdown are all melee, so just having one good cogs placement and keeping Spectre away from somebody is going to be really, really important. And XY, okay, so just going to be working towards a heart now, picking up that Reaver.
Now we actually have got 3 gems on the map right now. Ooh, lag. Have you having lag? I'm having lag.
I'm okay at the moment.
Yeah, it's going good again. A bit of issues with my connection to the Dota 2 server apparently, because the internet connection went solid. Oh wells. Again. Come on.
Well, fingers crossed everything stays up.
Yeah, we do have the start of a heart for XY. He's actually foregoing for any... Wow, did I really just say that? I did. So is just gonna not have a buyback, that is. Foregoing to have a buyback.
Well, it's still on cooldown. I mean, 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. And by the time he's back, he'll have enough money again with the speed that he's farming with. So he'll be fine. And looks like we're seeing Rattlesnake just clearing out their jungle, keeping themselves safe, but also making sure that they're sticking together. Right now, they're probably planning on trying to pick someone off and then fight. And if they don't pick anybody off, I doubt they'll be looking for a fight.
Yeah. And I think Zenith, they're kind of sensing the pickoff, sensing the attempt at the pickoff coming, because they've got the better split push right now, but the position that the lanes are in wouldn't really tell you that. So XY is being pretty careful about what he does as far as the push is concerned, and everybody else making sure that they stay grouped together. Because a single pickoff without having to invest the Aegis or something like that, Rattlesnake can probably leverage the Aegis into getting 1 or 2 towers down, and after that it can be rinse repeat, because if they win a team fight, if they get some more tower gold, then they're looking even stronger. And there's not a whole lot as far as golden experience is concerned right now in the game.
And looks like we're gonna see Rattlesnake looking for a fight here. Gonna be walking into the Radiant jungle, already seeing with the flare that basically everybody is there, so willingly walking into this. Let's see what they can do with this. We do have Helm of the Dominator up on the gyro building towards a Satanic, not yet finished though, but it looks like they want action. And we know that, we see that Zenith knows that they want action, and they actually back off because they want only action on their own terms, as we've said. So avoiding the fight as much as they can.
They only have to stall for 1 minute and 30 seconds for them to be back on more even footing, because that's how long Rattlesnake have the Aegis left for. So I don't think too surprising that Zenith are just going to keep evading until they can guarantee it.
BKB actually popped, and that's gonna be probably Rattlesnake not trying to fight for a while, because with that BKB on cooldown, which already was, by the way, a very low second cooldown, or BKB, we now have back to 7 seconds. They can't fight without it. They need to have that BKB to stop the Radix from going through on that gyrocopter.
Yeah. And I mean, 60 seconds to BKB, they've only got a minute left with Aegis as well, so I think that might be it. They can maybe cut it really fine, and Gyrocopter dies, BKB comes off cooldown right as he respawns, because he wants to use it in the second life anyway, but I mean, that's coming down to a matter of seconds, and I don't know if Rattlesnake are willing to cut it that fine. Because you don't really get to decide when your Gyrocopter dies, and if Zenith suspects that he is, 2 seconds away from losing the Aegis, I wouldn't be too surprised to see them all just like, nope, we're not hitting you, we're not hitting you. And then as soon as the Aegis, despawns, they'll finish him off. These teams should have it down. Yeah, these teams should have it down to the second. So I don't know. I don't think Rattlesnake should try and take the risk. Just get more farm. Again, Alchemist and Gyrocopter, both good flash farmers. They are staying up to the Spectre in terms of net worth, and more and more damage coming online by the minute. But Zenith, they smell blood. The Aegis is almost up.
Yeah, and X-Spy still farming to get his buyback ready again. Because of course when that Aegis runs out, his buyback will be back up again as well. He just needs to have enough gold to be able to have that. And right now he doesn't have it. The only buybacks on the Radiant side is actually the Visage, which is not going to be amounting to that much. So they need it. And there's actually a lot of buyback up on Rattlesnake. And the Alchemist, and the Clockwork, and the Shrek. Buybacks are going to be more and more important the later this game goes. It's already 45 minutes. It feels a lot longer somehow. Basically pure on how much items everybody has, but that's because both teams have been having good fights.
Yeah, we've got big fights, big farmers. It's a supersized game of Dota, and we've probably got that one big team fight coming up that's going to just swing the balance, too far in one team's.
I really hope that it's going to be living up to my expectations, because sometimes we just have a fight that is such an anticlimax and then it's over, and I really don't want to have that happen. We do have the experience and gold graph showing for very even game as well, slightly both in favor of Zenith, but I mean around 3k is really nothing 46 minutes into the game, and it's not going to come down to any kind of difference in gold or experience. It's all going to come down to who initiates who, where, and how.
Exactly. The nice thing for Rattlesnake right now is that they're not relying on anyone with a Blink Dagger to initiate, because otherwise Spectre would be. I mean, I guess this is a hypothetical situation and talking about the power of Spectre, overall. But we've sort of seen Radiance fall out of favor a bit. It just takes too long to farm. But Spectre can afford to go back for it later on in the game, and also a Radiance just makes, initiation for blinkers. Anyone who uses a Blink Dagger to get in, really a nightmare, because the Haunt just stops you dead in your tracks. So. Yeah, an opportunity to see more Spectre, I guess, in the metagame.
Yeah, who knows if she wins here. Of course, I mean, I'm slightly biased because I want to see game number 3, as Rattlesnake is 1 game up in this quarterfinals of the AMD Premier League, and I kind of, I like to see 3 games in a best out of 3. So sue me, but I just really like their lineup. So heavy team fight oriented, and that is something that as a caster woke up. But as a caster, that's really interesting to see, because it just brings so much dynamic in the team fights that it's really interesting to watch. Let's see who they're going to be finding. We do see Rattlesnake sitting inside their base as sitting ducks, with actually Icy with the TP skull sitting way high up, knowing that everybody's missing from the map, doesn't want to be getting caught out there. Has got his Satanic ready actually, and let's see if Zenith can get something here in the base, as my server connection to Dota is really getting annoying right now. But no initiation going. They do see Spectre there, and that is going to be it, probably.
In real patience here from Zenith. I mean, there's a temptation to say we've got the ultimates. We gotta take this fight. It could get sour on us at some point, but just waiting for the right moment, and I'm sure Ice is going to see it when it comes.
Yeah, the pipe goes up. Fortification goes there. Gyro, still not here though. This is Rattlesnake still hoping that Zenith will back off. And with the pipe now on cooldown, they might actually do just that. Or just at least wait until it's back up again, which is 40 seconds of waiting. Ravage is now up twice as well, by the way. Does he actually have a big enough mana pool for that? Yes, he does.
with
Well,
just
actually-
arcanes, he does, but he needs to be careful because the pipe is going to make it.
Yeah, the
pipe
pipe
and the mech
and the
gonna
mech.
make it tough.
He,
Yeah, they're
he
gonna make
really
it
needs
tough.
ice to give him some mana after the first one.
Radiant's
first
top
Ravage, that
tower
is.
under attack.
If he gets a little bit more gold, we'll probably see a Sheeva's up on him, and that'll really help out. but-
Radiant's top
Yeah,
tower
for now he
has
has to.
fallen.
There's some mana math to be done by Yamate here.
Yeah.
I see.
Still
Meanwhile,
no
get some
gyro.
more gold on top. Let's see if he's going to be able to force anyone back. I think Zenith maybe going to try and force it. There is a bit of a clock ticking with Gyrocopter.
Yeah, oh, Luo charges up his stun. He wants to go for this. We're gonna be finding X-Spike, gonna be stunning him up as well. In the meantime, we do have the Skewer gets 2 in the RP. BKBs are up. They're gonna be having another RP up on both, and the BKBs will be having run out after that. This is the 2 biggest heroes they could have got. Then they get them. They got one. They get another one as well. The Aegis is not there anymore. 2 heroes on the sidelines, both by back. Gem on the floor is. Kaboo goes down. Hook shot in. Lanham gonna be popping his own BKB. BKBs all around. We still have another Ravage on the board. He tries to get it off, but the battery assault is there to cancel it. He gets a stun in his face. Now can't do it anymore. Now he can if he just walks back in, but he doesn't have any mana. BKB up on Luo is gonna be chasing down Yamate. Will be able to get the kill on either one of the heroes that he chooses. Chooses Tide. It is gonna be a Skewer though up on 2, and the Ravage is gonna be there as well. Is Icy gonna be dying again? He just walked back. If he dies now, that is gonna be huge. It is Visage and Tide that go down first. And it is gonna be the Illuminate that cleans out 2 ice. Gonna be cleaned up after this one. But this is not a fight where Rattlesnake can actually take something in return right now. It is gonna be Ice last one alive together with XY who bought back and is gonna be defending the top lane. Ultra kill for Luo right now. His buyback was worth it. Icy buying back not so much, but what a fight was that.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible. The double reverse polarity on the 2 most important targets in the entire game was brutal. But Rattlesnake, somehow weather it for a bit. Forced to use the buybacks, and obviously the buybacks are going to be not quite the same, longer cooldown than having the double ultimates back up. So Rattlesnake invest a lot. They lose the tier 3. And that's going to set them back, in terms of gold. So the next team fight is going to be even harder. And it looks like Zenith with these buybacks is going to try and stake their claim to Roshan. And without a Gyrocopter buyback, I think they're going to be absolutely fine to take it here.
Yeah, for people wondering, I do live in Europe and this server is not in Europe, so these laggy thingies that we see just here are just my connection to the Singaporean server I think we are using. So unfortunately, nothing I can do about that, not my connection issues, just annoying. Do you know any way to fix that?
I would have no idea. Are you just having the auto disconnect pop up?
Yeah, about that. Yeah, but just a very short period of time, like only missing like a couple of seconds, and then it's back to normal again.
I wouldn't know, honestly. I mean, I don't know if there's much you can do as far as tunneling services or anything like that. But let's. Oh, Lanham! Wow.
Yeah, that's gonna be, whoa, hookshot in. Actually, hookshot in the back end. This is a fight on 2 sides. We're gonna be following the Luo part though. He gets RP'd. He's gonna get another RP in the face soon. And there he goes. It's actually a 3-man RP. The rest coming in to help Mount Skewer. Helps out as well. That's gonna be Clocker going down. Shadow Demon going down. Rocket Barrage there to chase Ice away. In his BKB. Freedom getting stunned up. Buybacks all around once again. Kaboo goes down once again. Ice on the way out. TPs from everybody. Nice force stuff up to the high ground for Ice. He will be able to try and TP out. Let's see if he's gonna get it though. Yes, he is. The stun is gonna be flying all the way to. It's gonna be too high for my camera to follow, unfortunately. But that was a disjointed fight once again. Going the way of Rattlesnake, and still no barracks down. Everything used once again, apart from the Ravages. Actually, they weren't used.
The stun flew all the way mid and hit Ice, and Ice. You can't disjoint it, so
Nice.
with a TP. But Rattlesnake, that was, I think, the most comedic part of that fight, with the Skewer forced Gyrocopter and Alchemist on top of each other, and they were just both wailing away. There was nowhere for Zenith to get multiple heroes in for damage, and Gyrocopter just sat back and was like, yeah, I'm hiding behind Alchemist, let's pop my Satanic and just do as much damage as I please. So yeah, a nice fight for Rattlesnake, and now they got the Aegis. This is a big opportunity for them, and Ultimate's on cooldown for a while as well. No Ravage for 20 seconds still. No, there's double Ravage, but the only 1 reverse polarity coming up in about 15, so
And there's gonna be the tier 2 tower going down, and it's gonna be tough for Zenith to fight this off. They do have the rabbits, they don't have XY. He does not have a buyback, already used that tier 3 tower, gonna be getting a lot of pain here as we see everybody of Zenith trying to force everybody back out. It actually succeeds, so good on them. We're back to square one.
Yes, well, it's square one, but I mean, minus buybacks on Rattlesnake, plus an Aegis, and Zenith, I think, pretty much exactly where they were for that team fight back into bot. But they're short a couple of buybacks as well, though we haven't really seen a Spectre buyback have a huge impact on the game just yet. I mean, it's been there. We saw one buyback. It was just to go back and farm, but Spectre getting really close to sort of being 6 slotted. Monkey King Bar already finished up, so that's really going to help bringing down the Gyrocopter. I mean, his survivability has been all on the back of the Satanic, and the Butterfly as well. So Monkey King Bar is going to help out a lot, and the evasion also kind of effectively reducing his survivability as well. If he's missing, then he's not life stealing. So XY coming up on max slots, and if that's not enough, then you have to start feeling a bit worried if you're Zenith, because they don't have, you can always look towards the horizon and say the next item is coming. That's going to make us better at team fighting. But that effect is kind of slowing down now when you've got two refreshers and XY is almost maxed.
Yeah, it's really going to come down to, well, it was going to come down to captaining a long time, but we said already at the start, like, if this goes really late, you have Alchemist and Gyro up against one Spectre, and yeah, that's gonna be getting you slightly out-carried if you're just a solo Spectre, and it's gonna be, it came down to captaining right now. If you go through for full, just barrel through power, Rattlesnake is gonna win it. Zenith has to really play it smart.
Yeah, and I mean, Alchemist is just a nightmare to bring down. He's got 4k HP, that's outside of Chemical Rage. He's got a heart, he's got cheese, and he's got a ton of armor. I mean, if he's not actually who you want to be focusing. Icy is doing the majority of the damage, but Luo's running interference, so it's
his inventory is not done yet. Like, there's plenty of space.
He's still got space. He's still got an Abyssal Blade coming. There's going to be an item more or less to replace the cheese once he picks up some travels. And yeah, Luo is still getting scarier, and Icy, kind of the same story for him, has still at least one more slot. Probably going to see that one filled out by an MKB. Could be a Divine if they really get control over the next Roshan, but that's still a ways away. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, Divine, some people would say go big or go home, but I think the safe choice here is just working towards that Monkey King Bar after you see the Talisman of Evasion up on XY.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, with these fights going both ways, with 2 RPs up, Icy can't really afford to, because he would throw the game if he gets a rapier and dies. Because a Spectre with a rapier and a Haunting, well, actually it doesn't copy damage items, I think, or was that?
Illusions don't get plus damage.
Exactly.
They only get your stat or
but
your attribute based damage.
Yeah, it's gonna be painful regardless. So. Can't really afford that. We do have the refreshers off cooldown again, so Zenith might be looking for a fight. I mean, they can't really have Rattlesnake bring the fight towards them, because losing a fight there will lose them the entire game.
And I haven't been keeping an eye on this, but how long has Ice had this Vlad's? Because I actually went looking for it to see, because they really need one for Spectre, but
he actually replaced his headdress for that one, because he had a headdress in his inventory for a very, very long time. After there was already a mechanism up on the tide, so he hasn't been having it for that long of a time, I think.
Zenith, are they really gonna try and force this one? Oh, this could be dangerous. Again, still an Aegis, no buybacks to come into play. I think, maybe trying to buy some time, but I don't think Rattlesnake are gonna be hesitant at all about jumping into this fight.
This time, if the Gyro dies, though, he does not have buyback. He has got the MKB, as you said.
Yeah, but he does still have the Aegis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he will still come back. I mean, who needs to buy back if you can die twice anyway? Like, if you die twice, you might as well die 3 times. But, yeah.
So Zenith, I think it's just 5-man stall. They're not even having XY split push. I think just too worried about him somehow being chain stunned. There's a basher up on an Alchemist. He swings pretty hard. Obviously it's got a cooldown, but it's tough for Zenith right now. They just need to stall. They picked up some illusions for Spectre, and at this point that's actually, you know, a really big deal. Each one of these solo pushes.
They just baited out a hook with that Spectre illusion. And gave away their position for that. And Luo is stunning himself for that. Well, that's probably the best that you could hope for. Now you know that Rattlesnake is looking to go in.
Yeah, this illusion's really going to be a pain on top, actually, I think. The tier 2 is the ping for Rattlesnake, so just taking something that Zenith are very unlikely to defend unless Ice, you know, locks in on a 5-man RP. So,
good luck with that.
Yeah, Rattlesnake's still kind of baby steps right now. They don't want to rush into anything. It's still anybody's game. There's now a buyback back up on XY. So that's dangerous on a defensive game, and Ice as well. So this could be a very interesting one, this next fight. And meanwhile, XY this time around gonna be pushing in. What's the fate of all of these gems?
Well, there's I thought I saw a gathering of them in the Rattlesnake base. I do have one sitting in the courier.
Ah, okay.
There's
like a little collection going.
Yeah, looks like maybe Zenith is gonna try to defend their tier 2 here. Luo standing on the front lines, gonna get skewered into the rest. Gonna get stunned up, stunning up Ice. The hook goes in as well. Cooldown coming down, doesn't hit anybody though. Yamate just out in time, and Zenith, they dodge it. Tower still goes down, obviously. We do also have a tower down in the mid lane though, because yeah, XY split push power for the win. He is actually gonna be trying to go for this. He actually haunts. He haunts the bottom lane. He wants to fight. TP successful. Gets the Aegis out of Icy. And they are going to be able to kill him off again, I would think. They have gotten RP and they will use it for just him. Nice pickups and great play by Zenith, forcing out the TPs. And the moment they were there, they took the fight bottom, knowing that they would be outnumbering their opponents. And knowing, of course, also that XY could be there with the haunt in.
Yeah, just perfect execution. And I mean, Rattlesnake, that all started with the skewer back from Ice. You know, Luo's like, guys, you gotta back me up. This is getting dangerous. Zenith weren't actually looking for the fight. They were just continuing to stall. And while they haven't managed to pick up a Rax, there's now 2 naked sets of Rax. There's a gyrocopter dead for a minute.
Does he have buyback? No, he didn't, because we saw him picking up the MKB.
Yeah, still 200 gold. The only way that he could get it would be for Alchemist to miraculously TP and go kill a tower, but that's not gonna happen.
No, so. No, that's not gonna happen. And pipe goes off. Zenith, they want to go in, only dealing with Luo and Lanham. See how far they can get in this Rex. So they might be able to kill it off. Disruption gonna try to help out. Lightning bouncing through in the meantime, but the pipe is of course there. Split Earth doesn't hit. Luo charging up a stun. XY man fighting is not what you want to be doing right now. Not against that fat ass Zenith or fat ass Alchemist rather, not Zenith, Luo rather. Wow. Yeah. Rex though still under heavy siege, as there's really nothing right now that Rattlesnake can do to defend it, and they do lose their Rex. Ice doesn't get anything with the blink in and the skewer, and that's one set of Rex gone, and maybe even 2. 10 seconds before Gyro is back. There is an RP up again, even without having to use the refresh rope, so there will be two RPs, but with they actually don't want to do it. They are gonna get initiated though. Lanham, BKB, gonna be finding some target, doesn't find anybody now, gets XY. He still has a dagger though, can get himself out. It is gonna be a stun up on XY. XY does have that buyback, the Ravage is there though, stunning up Luo as well. RP up on 2, both don't have their BKB on pipe on another RP there, skewer to the rest, another Ravage. Luo, you're gonna get bursted down right after Ice. He already got bursted down again. Still doesn't have a buyback. Stun up from Luo. Can he get something done? He cannot. He goes down. Kabu standing there, but not for long. 3 heroes on the side lane. Now buyback from Luo. Buyback from Kabu. Can they get the Rax is the question. I don't think they should be trying to go in. They don't have the Ravages. They don't have the RP. What they do have is 5 heroes where their opponent only has 4. And who knows, what can they do with that?
4 siege could stop.
Oh, that's a range set of Rex gone. Kabu can't do anything. Ice is gonna get the set of Rex. This is Zenith trying to mega creep them. One more hit for the melee Rex needed here as well, and they will be able to get it. Luo trying to do what he can, but he just gets chased around. He just gets kited. It is everybody just running away from him, and the rest just bashing on the Rex. Ice is still gonna be going down, drops a gem, because that's what everybody does when they die. Buyback from Ice though, and that is only 1 range rack left alive, and the Rattlesnake, they must defend this with their lives. doesn't look just yet like Zenith is gonna be backing out from this one. You see Ice actually trying to BKB, TP out, will be able to do that, never mind, gets forced back by the Cogs, but we getting stunned up by Luo, and they are gonna be trying to kill him off. He does have a buyback though, he is filthy rich, almost 6k gold. Freedom coming in, has got a full soul ascension ready, looking for a target, Skewer, Kaboo, Trouble, Ice actually is gonna be able to help kill him off, with the other Ice just getting the Illuminate, killing him off in total. And Luo sitting around the range, like they can't lose track of this one. But Zenith, they're not gonna let it slide. They're gonna go for this, and they will be able to get it as well if they're not. If Rattlesnake is not doing anything right now. Luo completely out of mana, gonna get a mana leak and instantly get stunned. XY heading into this as well, gets a disruption. One more hit, there we go. Mega creeps. I think that's game. Unless, well, it might not be game. Is it gonna be game? Spectre goes down.
There's 5 seconds until the buyback haunt, so I think. Let's just wait for it. We'll see. Maybe XY wants to preserve this game.
We do see Yamate going down still.
Yeah.
But it's like, let's do Rattlesnake in the Mega Creeps?
Yeah, I mean they're gonna try, but Spectre does have buyback, and I think that's gonna be the end of it. Alchemist,
look
really,
at the
really
gold
good.
graph.
Yeah.
What's this?
Whoosh.
Yeah.
I don't know, Alchemist doesn't care too much about, you know, Rax Grid. Still gets Greevil's Grid, so he's still gonna stack up the gold. So yeah, I think Zenith are just gonna just sit back, take a bit of a breather, wait until Spectre respawns, you know, normally, and then probably pick up Butterfly and then just look to end the game. So not under any rush, but Rattlesnake, you gotta play like winners. You have to always say, there's a chance. You gotta play it out until the last breath. Even if you're losing, you gotta say, even if I can make a better play, even if I can outplay once. And Rattlesnake, Roshan for them. I don't know if it's gonna be enough, but you know they're certainly playing like they're still here with a chance.
Yeah.
That's what I love to see.
If they don't think it's over yet, we won't think it's over yet either. And I think if they barrel through mid and just go for a fight and they actually don't lose that fight, they will still be able to just throw Zenith fairly fast, but you know, they have to win that fight first.
Yeah. If they're gonna go for it, they have to kill the tier 3 and then they have to go straight for the throne. There's no dilly-dallying around with trying to mega creeps or anything like that. I think it just has to be, yeah, go for end.
And they have to deal with...
Scythe is putting Empower on the mega creeps. That's cruel and unusual.
How dare he? But that flag cannon is clearing out those mega creeps fairly fast. I'm quite surprised to see how well they are warding off those. I mean, we are 64 minutes in. There's not really any hero that's really on the front, can't really deal with those kind of creeps, I guess. But Zenith is just waiting for the right time to initiate again. I would hope for them. I mean, they also know that if they still make a mistake, it could still be over for them.
Yeah, they've got a big buffer at the moment between, you know, them and losing. They've got mega creeps, they've got a Spectre buyback, but it's not over until it's over. The objective of the game is not mega creeps, the objective of the game is the Ancient. And until that's down, Rattlesnake, never say die, and yeah, exactly right. We can't give up either, but Zenith, they're smoked. Ooh. One last team fight, Sheever. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm kind of thinking about what I said about an anti-climatic fight. I think previous fight kind of was okay. No.
Just okay.
Yeah, just maybe. Okay. Oh, they're gonna be seeing Luo first. XY reveals himself, reveals the smoke. Gonna be getting a homing missile to welcome him to the base of Rattlesnake. But other than that, nothing.
You don't wanna.
You don't want what?
It's the Rattlesnake den. I don't know if you.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't make the pun. Yeah. XY. He does have a buyback. He has to be careful though. He is gonna get stunned up. He is gonna go down. He's dead. He is dead real fast. Luo is gonna be fighting Ice. There's still RPs up. There's still all the teamfights up. The Haunt back in with the buyback is there as well though. And they are gonna be getting icy with this. The burn damage will be enough. Age is gonna get popped. Luo getting turned into a piglet. Might be stunning himself soon. Gonna be seeing an RP. There we go. Gets up on 2. 4 staff into safety for Luo. Where is it? No. Gets an RP again. This time up on 3. And Ravage to finish it off. And everybody dies. It's a team wipe. And there is still a Ravage to welcome people back that just got here. We see Yamate looking for it. Canceling it again. Getting a stun in the face. But it is tier 4 towers down. It is gonna be the throne that is under siege. Luo trying to do what he can as BKB being on cooldown for another moment. Gets a Gush, gets a Ravage. Ravage on everybody. Luo going down. Mega Creeps helping out. Icy, you're gonna be going down as well. And that is gonna be the GG. Zenith taking game number 2. I was not gonna say very convincing because this was a back and forth game. Rattlesnake not making it happen in the end. Zenith showing supreme coordination in the end, I'd say. I don't think it was outpick or anything like that.
Definitely not. But Ice on that Magnus. I don't know how many times we saw him skewer Alchemist to Gyrocopter and then reverse polarity.
Yeah.
Both of them. I think that was just phenomenal play from him. So those skewers, amazing. But yeah, what a game. I'm looking forward to game 3. I'm hyped. I hope you are too.
Yeah, I am. And this was the kind of games that I was expecting to see from these two teams because they can just go toe to toe like this. And I don't think we've seen a moment of peace and quiet. I mean, I look at the end screen and I see 45 to 29 thinking, you know what? It wasn't Zenith pocket all along. That's so not true. It's just going back and forth the entire time. Really enjoyable to watch, and we're going to be hoping that that's going to be the same for game number 3. Stick around, people. I'm Cassie, I'm Sheever, joined by Basskip, and we're going to be bringing you game number 3 as well. Don't go anywhere. More Dota 2 coming up.